Yeah, I mean, just with the new restart zone, just kind of unique on, you know, as you kind of throttle up, we're all going to be kind of bouncing off each other. There's nothing you can – it's so narrow through there, and everybody's trying to get it. So, you know, when Ty got me kind of on that initial restart, it showed me what I did wrong. So it helped me a lot on the next couple of restarts of what to do. And, you know, I thought the 54 might be the best car on longer runs there. You know, I felt like if Kyle was behind me, like we had Kyle cover on the long runs because I'd ran around him the whole race, and I knew the 24 had just kind of been lying back there, you know, 4th to 6th all day. So it's just trying to get the lead and try to get a big enough gap, because the only thing that we really struggled with was rear tires at the end of a long run, and that's kind of what we were fighting. So those restarts may have helped the tire life, but I would always have a good size, enough of a lead that I thought I could kind of pace myself, and then you'd have to go through the restarts again. So the biggest thing was just trying to change it up just enough to time it right. And, you know, it's track position based. So, you know, I knew if I could get in the lead, it was going to make it a difficult challenge for them to get around me. And that was just always the focus on those restarts.
John Newby, NBC Sports. This question is for Chris and Matt. During the post-race celebration, you know, AJ made it very clear how emotional he was because of all the anguish, the pain, everything he goes through, you know, trying to help you guys grow. From your perspective, I mean, how much more impactful is it for you when you do see him have those emotional moments, that success, especially on, you know, a track where he's dominated so much in the Xfinity series?
So before Matt talks, I'll tell you, I've never met a race car driver so passionate about what he does, in and outside the race car. And I never met a race car driver that cares about an owner like he does. I've met a lot of race car drivers, and I've talked to a lot of race car drivers over my life, but I've never met somebody like AJ Allmendinger. I think he got run through the ringer so many times, and nobody ever dug into his life and how he is and how he acts enough to understand him. I'll tell you, over the last month, he's been very key and pivotal to everything we're doing at Kaulig Racing. He knows everything we're doing at Kaulig Racing, and he supports 98% of it, I would say. He shouldn't support it all, because that's what makes you better. So with that being said, it is when you see the emotion out of me, it's for everybody at Kaulig Racing, but it's for him, it's for Tara, it's for his new kid, his son, Arrow. Because 6 years ago, I called Matt Kaulig and said, let's give AJ Allmendinger. Well, actually, Matt called me and said, let's go get the best road course racer in the world and try to go win road course races. And we called AJ Allmendinger. He showed up in a Nebraska shirt. He didn't know what he was going to do. He had no idea. We didn't have a hotel room for him when he went to Watkins Glen. We got him disqualified 2 races in a row, and he still came back. He drove home from Daytona when he missed a race, and he still came back. You know, and that's the AJ we love. And when he gets emotional and he fires the crowd up, it's about that. You know, when he fusses us out about winning and not winning and what we're going to do, how we're going to get better. I mean, he called me when our Xfinity cars were terrible this year, and he says, do you know how bad you suck? I said, really? Yes, I do. And I think I told Claire, wherever she's at, it's unacceptable. Like, and that's because of this guy. And for him to win and for him to be upset, we love it because we know how much he loves us.
No, and I'd say I'm super proud of AJ. Even standing in victory lane and looking at AJ celebrating and doing what he does, I'm just super proud of him. So it makes me not emotional, but I'm just super proud of this team and what they've done. You know, I don't know if I'd say I don't know what our expectations were actually this year. But I'd say we struggled, and I know these guys feel like they're way better than we've actually performed. But, I mean, even being able to get into victory lane today, I think is really big for this team and for AJ and for Matt and for Chris. So it's really cool, really proud. So that's how I felt, actually, just looking at AJ while he was celebrating, while he's doing all the interviews, and while he's getting all the pictures taken. But this guy has meant the world to me, meant the world to our team, and that's how I feel.
Chris, first over those final 5 laps, you had your head in your hands a lot watching that. What were the emotions going through you through those final cautions, and how much were you breathing over those final laps?
I wasn't. I feel like I've let everybody down. I don't know. I don't get upset much. You know, I smile a lot. That's what it's about. But I feel like I've let everybody down. I done a horrible job when we started the Cup team. Matt Swiderski believed in what we were doing, and I feel like I let everybody down. Everybody in Ohio, I let AJ down, and for AJ to dominate, it wasn't just he showed up and led the last lap. He dominated the entire race. The pit crews have worked really hard at stepping up, and I didn't breathe that much. And I was honestly, I was spending a lot of time by myself. You know, it's a open mic thing, and I told Squid, and he can just hear me talking. I finally said, "I'll just shut up." And he said, "No, keep talking. It helps me." And you know, I just I go to bed every night thinking about how can we make everybody better, and today shows that. You know, Matt Kaulig belongs in NASCAR. AJ Allmendinger belongs in a Cup car. And it's just, can we win every week? No, absolutely not. But can we contend? Yes, and that's what I was thinking about. And I wasn't breathing. I think thank goodness for my health. Thank goodness for getting my health together, because I think I spent the last 10 laps not breathing.
And AJ, for those final laps and knowing how this season has been, the frustration that's gone on with it, how are you keeping yourself mentally saying, okay, you know, I've got Ty looking for his first win, William there behind you, Kyle trying to get to the playoffs as well. How do you keep yourself pumped up and knowing that, hey, I can win this?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I try to study a lot of not just, you know, the racetrack and things like that, but knowing where everybody's at in the playoffs and what they're racing for, because, you know, you're still going for a Cup win. Everybody's going to be aggressive, but there's a different aggressive level, and there's desperation, and there's things like that. You know, I've loved racing against Ty over the last, you know, 4 years now, 2020 or whenever he started in the Xfinity Series. You know, I feel like me and him get along great. It's us going back and forth was a lot of fun. But with that said, you know what he's racing for. It's first Cup win. I mean, it's hard to do this. It's freaking hard. And you know, I know there's certain teams and certain drivers that get a lot of opportunities to go win Cup races, but there's also a lot of drivers and teams that don't. So I knew Ty, you know, I thought we raced fairly clean for knowing what we were battling for. I knew Kyle had to win to make the playoffs. I kept looking up at the board to see where he was at points-wise. Obviously, I knew William was probably going to the next round. He's going to be aggressive, but maybe not desperate aggressive. So that was kind of what was playing in my head on who I was racing around. You know, at the end of the day, it's, for me, it's about if I give everything I have, I make no mistakes, and William gets around me and beats me, yeah, it sucks. But I go home and I look in the mirror, and you say, yep, better team, better driver beat me that day. The one thing I did not want to do was be that guy that made a mistake and let him by me. And that's something that, you know, this is what we all want, to be put in those pressure cooker moments. You know, and if these guys know, I struggle to believe in myself every day. It's an ugly place sometimes. I always say I have the best life possible, and that's why I'm miserable every day. Because it's wake up, what the hell are you going to do to be better today? And it's ugly sometimes. But it's the way I am. I won't ever change. And those are the moments that I dream of knowing, hey, you got the best of the best in the world behind you. It's on you to not let them by. And, you know, I felt like I made a couple of real small mistakes with the 24 behind me. The rear tires were starting to go. But those last 7-8 laps, that's as perfect as I can drive a race car. And that's win or lose, but especially win. That's the stuff that you walk around with your chest out just that little bit, because it's very rare that I do that, but just walk around a little bit knowing when it's time, I can be as perfect as possible.
All right, we're going to go to Shane here up front. And then if I can get a mic to Zach in the back, please.
AJ, congratulations on this win. Going into this race, was there anything that you did differently in preparation or just kind of your confidence level with how strong you've been on road courses?
Yeah, me and Squid talked about that if we won, we might not make Vegas because they're going to be hungover the whole week. So we really focused on that and where we were going to go to Vegas. We'll be in Vegas. Not sure we'll be at the racetrack, but that was pretty much our plan.
We've done that before.
Yeah.
We didn't make it to the track.
Yeah, no. That was our plan, was trying to plan out Vegas if we won. So, no. We know on the road courses, that's our best opportunity to win a race. We've been good at other racetracks and, you run inside the top 10 and things like that, but we know that these are the races that we can shine. So, I felt like Squid and I and the engineers and really all the men and women at Kaulig Racing, but really us, we focused on, what did we start 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, working on the sim, and that's all we worked on. It's like, okay, Texas is coming up. All right, we don't care. We're going to focus on winning the Roval. So, I think that's kind of what we did. And Squid, he's got a tough job. He's got to deal with me on the radio, screaming at him constantly, how to be better, things like that. But that's what I love about him is there's no animosity after a race. There's no ups and downs with him. He knows how much I care and how much I want us to be better. And, I think we put that effort in the last 4 weeks. And, we unloaded yesterday and the thing was fast. And we talked about it. He made small adjustments. He made great adjustments during the race. Especially every team has to be, but, in our situation, you got to be almost perfect in a race like this to win it. And, I felt like all of us, we were.
All right, we're going to go to Zach and then back up front to Jordan. Go ahead, Zach.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. AJ, going back to the restarts there, those last two, Kyle specifically, what's the relationship that you guys have with each other? And obviously you knew what he was racing for. You kind of touched on that a little bit, but especially that penultimate restart he's able to clear Ty to move into second. How did that factor into how you had to defend against him specifically?
Yeah, it's good or bad to say, but I knew the guy I wanted behind me was Kyle because we were quicker than him, and I knew if I could get Kyle to second, I could probably just drive away. Kyle has been fantastic to me my whole career, but when I started driving for these guys, especially when we in 2020. With the pandemic and not having any practice, Kyle Busch is a guy that I can call whether I'm racing against him in an Xfinity race or Cup race or whatever, and I just say, hey, man, I need some advice or how do you drive this place or things like that, and he will call you back and for an hour explain every detail, and there's never a doubt in my mind that he's telling me the truth. That he's just going to do that, and I have that respect, and I have the same respect if he asks me a question about, talking to him about it. So, yeah, I knew he was going to race hard. I knew what he was racing for. But, I also didn't think he'd come clean me out or anything on a restart like that. So, it was just about trying to lead into turn one and not really give an opportunity to let him get to my bumper. And I knew once we could get through a couple of corners, I could clear him and start driving away. So, that was always my focus. But, yeah, I definitely was trying everything I could to get Kyle to second on the restart just to know that that could give me enough of a gap to just kind of settle in and drive away.
All right, we're going to come up front to Jordan Bianchi. Go ahead, Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. This question's for Matt. Matt, yesterday AJ has said that he wants to be he'd prefer to be in the Cup Series full time. We don't know about his future next year. Obviously, you guys are about trophy hunting. Why is it not a clear-cut decision to keep AJ in the Cup Series full time next year if that's what you guys are about, is winning races?
Well, we do want to win races, and we love AJ. We just haven't all decided. Actually, we just haven't announced yet exactly what we're doing. I think we're pretty clear on what we're doing. We just haven't announced anything. So I actually defer most of these questions to Chris.
Okay. Well, that's Chris. All right, Chris, will AJ Allmendinger be racing full-time in the Cup Series next year?
Wait for the announcement.
Okay. And then
I don't know if he can do it. I don't know if he can win trophies.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do it?
You only you have like what 20,
the problem.
20, 21 banners for me in the shop. Is
Here's
that
the
right?
problem.
Yeah.
We don't get to, like, so when he wins, like, we got to work tomorrow. When he won in Xfinity, we could party. We don't get to party with him. Like, he won at Indy. We woke up the next day, and he was green because he'd been throwing up. We can't do that now. So, like, we got to think about our
can't.
life and have a little fun. Well, we got to think.
We can't.
We got to work tomorrow.
Sounds like a personal problem.
So, I mean, looking at it from afar, though, why is it not a clear-cut decision when you have a talented driver who obviously can win at the Cup level? Why would you not want to keep him in your car?
It is a clear-cut decision. We just hadn't announced it yet.
Okay. And then maybe Matt, you can, or Chris, Chandler Smith, is he going to be returning to the Xfinity Series program next
Why
year?
are you trying to rain down? We're celebrating a win here.
I got
Damn,
this.
Jordan, you're just
No, Jordan, I got it. You should talk to his agent.
Talk to his agent?
Yeah.
Has he asked for a buyout?
You should talk to his agent.
Okay.
We also won a Cup race today, so that's pretty cool. Wow.
I didn't know we could win if
Yeah.
you talked to his agent.
Yeah.
All right, we're now gonna go to Matt Weaver, please. Right. Oh, sorry. Right here. Nope.
Matt started this crap this morning.
I did. Matt Weaver, Sports Nut for AJ. You just talked about how the intensity level that you carry yourself out and how you're never going to change. And I remember you talking after 2018, 2019 about how there was burnout associated with that too. And so I'm curious, like, how do you live with that sort of like red line, and what is the sweet spot that you have to find to center yourself or whatever it needs to be for you to be at your peak optimal performance?
I'm first married to a unicorn, so Tara is nuts. No.
And she looks good.
Thanks. Yeah, she's gorgeous. Yes, that's part of the unicorn masterpiece of Tara. So, she supports me and puts up with all the ups and downs, and she's just always there for whatever, comfort, leave me alone, whatever it may be. A lot of it comes from the whole organization, but these two guys really, and then over the last year and a half, I guess we call it 2 years now that we've worked. We ran like 7 races in 21. And so it's things like that my goal has always been, no matter what team I drive for, whether it's the owner or crew chief, men and women, pit crew, all that, they understand how much I care. That's the only thing I've ever cared about, is for them to walk. If they walk away and they say, what do you think of AJ? They can say he's an a-hole and he bitches too much, but damn, we know he cares. And that's they know I'm going to lay everything I got. So I've been better, and it's because of Matt and Chris. They allow me to be like that, and then when they see it kind of maybe going to the dark level of that, we go do something fun, and they bring me back, and we kind of start over again. So, but that's it. This organization over the last 5 years, I've said this before, but they've saved my life. Not just, living day to day, but the happiness of day to day, because if 2018 would have been it, I did some cool things, but there's always God, I wish I could have done some more. But because of them, I've won on every type of oval in Xfinity, got to kiss the bricks at Indy twice. We've just done a lot of really special things. And because of that, they've saved my happiness. Because now if they wake up tomorrow and they're like, hey, you're old and you're done, I can actually just be happy with everything that's happened now in my career. And without them, I wouldn't have had that. I would have always had that little bit of misery of not doing as much as I wanted.
And then as a follow-up for Chris, but really any of you guys can answer, because Chris has worked and been around so many racers his entire life, your entire life. Have you had to rewrite the rules for how you manage a driver when it comes to AJ, because AJ is such a unique character?
100%. Yeah, I mean, I have to not only manage him right, I got to calm Squid down, like on Mondays, and that's Matt Swiderski as crew chief. So you you have to read every person, right? I think I told you this morning, and you gotta understand what you're dealing with. We have 4 drivers: Justin Haley, AJ, Daniel Hemrick, and Chandler Smith, and Derek Kraus as our simulator driver. Plus, he drives some Xfinity for us, and you got to learn how to treat them all. Like, I mean, it's not. I can't treat Daniel Hemrick and AJ Allmendinger the same. They're just 2 totally different people, and they actually probably became best friends over the last couple of years. I think AJ worries more about Daniel's career than Daniel does, and I think Daniel worries more about AJ's career than he does. So, what I've learned with AJ is you leave him alone when it's time to leave him alone, but you also get in his ass when it's time to get in his ass. Like, I mean, he takes it. But no, that's the way it is. Like, so, like, yeah. But the key to AJ is he knows we have his back no matter what. Like, I think if you think about a stat, he's won a NASCAR race over the last 5 years. He's won in NASCAR in either the Xfinity Series or Cup Series. He's won 1 race over the last 5 years. He's won every single year he's signed a contract for Kaulig Racing. That's why we have his back.
All right, we're going to go to Jerry Jordan.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires.net, over to your right. Your post-race celebration up in the grandstands, I'm looking at a photo here. You were surrounded by every driver uniform, sweatshirt, T-shirt, hat possible. They were all loving on you. And then there's this one guy over there that says an AJ Allmendinger shirt on as well, just in case you missed him. But it looks like, that was a crazy scene. What was it like being out there with those fans, and what made you think to do that?
I actually told Chris that I was going to do it. I said,
He said, come on.
He said yesterday when I talked to him, he said, what time you get into the track? I told him, he said, well, I might be going for a run. I said, yeah, the only run I'm planning is running into the crowd after we're done racing. So, I think you see my emotion, and that's real. It's raw. I mean, I don't want to be crying on TV, but, it comes down to that's how much I care. And, I hope fans respect that. You don't have to be a fan of mine, but I hope you respect how much I care and how much winning a race. The thing I hate most is watching somebody win a race, and it's because they win too much, and they get out of the car, and they're like, yay, and like, yeah, and you're like, they go next. Like, okay, that's how you know you win too much. Which I don't get me wrong, I'd like to be like that, but yeah, it's just raw emotion. You just want to go up there and celebrate. I think maybe part of it was the first couple of races I won with Kaulig Racing, I didn't celebrate with anybody. Like, it was a pandemic. Turned around, I was like, hey, all right, good job, AJ. I mean, hell, Atlanta, they weren't even allowed in victory lane. So it's just trying to have fun with it. It's things, and as I said, especially kids. You don't have to be my fan. You don't have to, but I think we all love this sport. There's a reason why we're all in this sport, and it's because at some point in your life, and a lot of it was when we were kids, you fall in love with it for whatever reason. Why? And to me, to go up there and celebrate, especially when there's kids up there, that's memories. And maybe it's a kid that's never been to a race and didn't really care. Next thing you know, they're celebrating next to a driver. Like, it's pretty special. And, I don't think about it, in the time, but you want to celebrate with everybody. It's cool I told everybody coming to the start finish line after, said all the men and women that are here, come celebrate with me on the front straightaway. And then you go up there and, it's just about making memories and having fun. Cause as I said, you don't know if you're ever going to win another cup race. So you got to celebrate like it's your last. That's why you see why I celebrate, because you never know when it's your last. I spent many years not even coming close to winning. So you're never going to see me get out of the car and do the hey and walk away. I mean, it's raw emotion.
All right, we're going to go upstairs to the press box for a question, please.
Hi, Jenna Fryer, Associated Press. I have 2 questions. First one's for AJ. AJ, congratulations. Your emotions are all over the place. You talk about how difficult it is for you and also how much you love it. And I guess you guys already know what you're doing. and you're not going to tell us, but I'm curious, you're about a month into fatherhood. Like, let's say you're Jimmy Johnson and you can do anything you want, and money's not a factor. What do you want to do, AJ?
I just want to keep racing with a Kaulig Racing Chevy. I'm not going anywhere. This will be the cars that whenever I'm done driving, Matt and Chris have given me the option of, you keep doing this while you're having fun and you're enjoying it. And I've given them also the rule, keep me in the car as long as you want, as long as I'm bringing something to the race team. The moment I'm not, then, it's fair. I wouldn't say go our separate ways, but, we do something different. But yeah, I love what I'm doing. And when you see me not having fun, it's because I want us to be better. And more importantly, I want me to be better, because that's what I put on my shoulders, is to be better for all of us, to make us better. So that's why you see so much emotion come out of me.
And Matt, this is your second full-time season and your first Cup win as a full-time car owner. I know you have won a Cup race before, but is it harder than you thought it was going to be?
Yeah. I mean, I almost talk about it as being almost impossible. I mean, that's actually how Chris and I talk about it. It's like, these things are impossible to win, just because the talent level of everybody on the team, the drivers, the crew chiefs, the engineers. I mean, it's the highest level of motorsports. And so it's a really, really hard, almost impossible thing to do. And, with AJ and with our team, we've actually now done it twice. Our goal, honestly, when I got into the sport, 9 years ago? Our goal was to maybe try to win an Xfinity race, like one. And, it was a pretty surreal moment, even standing there watching everybody run out to, like AJ said, to the start-finish line and congratulate AJ. I just stood on the pit lane or pit row or whatever, and just watched everybody. And it's a really surreal experience to say, what all the men and women and drivers and everybody else at Kaulig Racing have done and experienced. I mean, we just won our second Cup race. And just how proud I am of Chris, how proud I am of AJ and of Matt, and again, all the men and women at Kaulig Racing of what they've accomplished over the last several years. But it's just a really surreal experience, and I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of them for them. As the laps were winding down, when it was 15 to go and 10 to go, and just you were seeing everything play out today. I was just standing behind the pit box, just thinking that and watching that. I've got my name all over it. There's Kaulig Racing, there's Kaulig companies everywhere, and there's Leaf Filter. My company that I started in 2005, that's all over the cars, and seeing all of our sponsors and seeing all the employees that have worked for us now for literally years. Just really proud of them and proud for them of what they're accomplishing. So really, really grateful.
All right, we're going to come back downstairs. Can I get a microphone to Andrew Curlin, please?
Andrew Curlin, Dirty Mo Media. AJ, this race seemed like there was a lot more action throughout the field, more natural cautions than the last two. Is that a result of racetrack, being an elimination race, desperation? Like, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the stage breaks, they kind of bunch the field back up, and you got the saying, cautions breed cautions. But I think some of it's the racetrack as well. It's especially in the infield, it's easy to make a mistake and slap the fence, and it's easy to get into somebody, and with it where we're at in the year, drivers we're all racing for something, whether it's championship, it's trying to make it to the next round, it's best position possible in points, or you're searching for a ride. Everybody's kind of probably on edge. It's a long season. So, I think that's a lot of the reason you see so much aggression level. And then especially at the end of the race with all those cautions, it's just everybody's going to start taking and no gives. So I think that's probably a big reason of why.
All right, we're going to come up front to Bruce Martin.
Bruce Martin with Speed Sport and Forbes. Probably two of the most challenging road courses that you run on are here and at Indy, and you won both. So in a lot of ways, I mean, if it's a tough race course, I guess you're the guy that's ready for the challenge. How do you describe being able to master both of those?
Well, I mean, it takes a great race car for sure, and takes everything kind of working out the right way. I've grown up road course racing, right, Bruce? I mean, that's part of what I love about it is I feel like that I can, driver can make a little bit of a difference. It still takes an amazing race car to go out there and do it. I thought last year here we had a real shot to win the race, and it just didn't play out, the way we wanted to. But a lot of the credit goes to Squid just because he worked so hard at the shop, kind of in the leadership role of overseeing the Cup program and kind of trying to figure out which direction we need to go. Obviously, Chris has got overseeing everything, but with Squid, we've had some road courses this year, early in the year especially, where we probably struggled a lot. Chicago was a race that we completely missed it and just struggled. But I feel like over the last few, we've had a lot of speed. Indy, we missed it early in the weekend and put us behind, and the race just didn't play out the way we wanted to. Watkins Glen, I thought maybe we had one of the cars to beat, just couldn't get up front. So, yeah, I mean, that's when we have a good race car and, we do the things that we know we're capable of doing. We know we can at least be up front at any type of racetrack. But, as I said, we know these is, we can go out there and win the race.
All right, apologies. I'm not going to get to everyone's question tonight, so I really do apologize for that. But we've had them up here for 30 minutes. So I do want to be respectful of their time. AJ still has a couple more interviews he has to do, a couple more appearances. So I do want to be respectful, but thank you guys for all spending some time with us. Congratulations again. And Chris, it sounds like a few of these people made you answer questions twice.
Thank you, guys.
I think they did. But to you guys, thank you guys for what you do. Sometimes I go to look at all y'all's pages to see when it's rained out. So seriously, thank you. We know you spend a lot of time doing it. From us, we appreciate you guys. Thank you.